What's up, guys? This is Courtney, one half of the Brothers of Deconstruction, and I bring you my review / rant of Suicide Squad, the extended cut. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why are you just now getting your review up? What are you ranting about? Where have you been? Okay, now, I know that nobody's probably been wondering where I've been. The reason why I'm just now doing a full review of Suicide Squad, by the way, spoilers, is because the plan was to go see the movie in Pasadena while we were at PMC. That was the plan. For those that don't know, you might be new to the channel, whatever. I did a quick review of Suicide Squad because the weekend that it came out was the weekend before PMC 5, the Power Rangers convention that me and Bruce go to. And so we planned on going to see it with a group of our friends. It wasn't originally like Wednesday night because we flew out there Wednesday. It turned into going to see it on a Wednesday, or that Wednesday that we got out there, to sometime during the weekend. That never happened because Bruce didn't really hear a good word of mouth about it, and then our group of friends didn't really hear good word of mouth about it. So, to say the least, nobody was really interested in going to see it. So that kind of came and went. We didn't see it while it was out there. And I just never got around to doing the video, honestly. So that's why a full spoiler review is just now happening. Now, as far as the rant, I'm ranting because an extended cut of Suicide Squad had been announced. I mean, it's now December, probably sometime, I want to say in late September, early October, maybe. They announced the extended cut. So the reason why I'm ranting is because it seems like WB is going to have a history, even though they've only done it with 2 of their movies, they have a history of announcing extended cuts of their DC movies. So that's what the rant is for, because they're announcing an extended cut. With that being said, and even though I know probably nobody really has wondered where I've been or we've been in general, but Bruce lives in Washington State now. So that's one reason why he hasn't really done any videos. When he moved, that's not the main reason I stopped doing videos, because even when we were both in Chicago, we would come together on reviews of movies that we saw together. Or if we had an idea for a video, like, hey, let's do this video, we'll do it. Honestly, I'm lazy when it comes to editing. When you're taking a 20-minute video and cutting it down to like 10-15 minutes, that takes some time, especially with my particular edit style. So like the jump cuts and everything like that, because I don't really like a bunch of dead silence in the video. That's really the main reason. I just get lazy when it comes to editing, and I really don't see myself jumping up and doing a video at every single instance of news popping up about something. That's the main reason. But also, I recently moved out of Chicago. I stay in Texas now. So getting that situated and preparing for that really big jump, I wasn't concerned about doing videos. So let's move on to the review. Again, and the video was on our channel, I enjoyed the movie the first time. I thought it was okay. I thought it was an enjoyable movie. You can go in and really get, at least something out of the movie that you would have liked. Now with the extended cut, and again, I'm going to be reviewing, I literally just watched the extended cut maybe an hour ago. I bought it earlier today with the intent of watching it today and hopefully getting a review up, recording this review, tonight or tomorrow, but I'm doing it now while it's still fresh in my head. I enjoyed the movie. I said that in my quick review the first time. I thought there's something that you can take away from it, but it had its problems. Does the extended cut fix that? Kinda, sorta. The real thing with the extended cut that I liked about it is that it gave some of the characters more stuff to do, and it fleshed out stories just a little bit better. Like with the Batman vs. Superman extended cut, which I still haven't reviewed, but I have watched. I'll watch that again and I'll do a review, an actual review for that, because I don't think I actually got a review up for that either. But with that, it added more to the movie and it kind of explained loose plot holes that happened in the movie. The Suicide Squad extended cut didn't really do that because the story in itself was flawed from the beginning. And I had conversations with Bruce about this even just earlier today. I think if they hadn't used Enchantress as the main villain, then or if they had given her actual motivations, the story in itself would have been better. Or if they, since they wanted to use Joker, now Bruce thinks they should have used Joker completely in flashbacks with the way that they used him in this movie. And I can agree with that because they didn't really give him anything to do besides showing him in flashbacks with Harley and just having him kind of pop up and, you know, be a thorn in whatever was going on. Like, oh, he's doing this with Harley. He's contacting her because he wants to break her out. Let's have him do that while they're trying to go about this mission. If they had used Joker as like, oh, Joker stole Enchantress's heart and then he had her like doing all this crazy stuff, just causing havoc because that's what the Joker does. That would have been a better way of working him into the story and giving him something to do. That's just my opinion. The story was flawed in and of itself because Enchantress didn't have a real motivation for doing what she did. It was more so, and they had a scene in the movie, and this was in the theatrical cut as well. She spoke to her brother and he was like, well, what happened? They used to worship us as gods. They worship technology now. Let's build something to destroy them. All right. So that really wasn't a good enough reason to want to destroy the world because, oh, these humans used to worship me, but now they worship something else. All right. Yeah, I want to kill them all. It's not really a good enough motivation. Inherently, the story is flawed. So the extended cut doesn't really do anything else for the story. However, what it does help out with is fleshing out some of the characters. It gives them a little bit more to do, like the bar scene where they're having drinks in the movie. And we even saw some of this in the trailer, where Harley is basically bartending and she's asking everybody what they want. You know, Croc asks for beer, Katana asks for whiskey, you know, Deadshot says, you know, what am I, 12? You know, asking not to be babied, he's here to drink. They added that scene and that gave a little bit more camaraderie. And not even camaraderie, that just gave a little bit more interaction that the group kind of needed. And there was an extended part with Diablo and Deadshot where you see his anger, Diablo's anger kind of boil over because Deadshot says, you know, for a minute, I trusted Flag. And he's like, you can't see that we've been used as pawns. Like, he played you. You played yourself. Deadshot had Will Smith being Will Smith, which wasn't a bad thing for this movie. He has one of the best reactions. He's like, bitch, I'm having a drink and I'm breathing fresh air. I laughed at that part. So that it adds, the extended cut adds some scenes into the movie that kind of help flesh some of the characters out. It gives Killer Croc a little bit more background, just a little bit, not too much. I really liked it because it actually fleshed out Joker's story with Harley a little bit better. It didn't do it a whole lot. Like, it doesn't really change the movie, but it does change their dynamic because I think it's a little bit more closer to what it was in the comics, or, you know, what more people have known. Like, I grew up on the animated series, on the Batman animated series, and so it was a little bit more closer into that recognizable, you know, relationship. You know, it might be recognizable to some people that read the comics as well. I still wish they would have added in the scene of Joker smacking Harley. They didn't have that scene in there, but whatever. They probably didn't want to get the shitstorm that would have unleashed, but whatever. It did add some stuff to their relationship though, because Joker didn't want anything to do with Harley, and he very much like tells her that because she's chasing him down on a motorcycle. You know, he's in the Lamborghini, she zooms up ahead of him, like she drives up on the side of him and she's looking, and he's like, he even just does this, he's like, and like keeps driving. He doesn't want anything to do with her. She stops in front of him. He stops the car and she's like, look, I did everything. I did all the tests, this whole initiation, like, just let me love you. That's basically what she was saying. And he's like, look, I'm not somebody that's loved. I'm an idea. Like, I go by things according to my plan, and you're not in that plan. You know, she kills a truck driver that's like, hey, go yell at your bitch some other time, whatever like that. And then she points the gun at his head and he's like, just do it. And she doesn't. She's just like, my heart scares you, but a gun doesn't. It fleshes out that relationship a little bit more. The Joker doesn't want anything to do with Harley, and he tells her this, and she's more like, I love you for who you are. And so then it kind of transitions into that. I don't know if it was Ace Chemicals, but when she jumps into the vat of chemicals or whatever like that, it makes that transition a lot better, because before it was just, oh, Joker's just doing all this crazy manic stuff. And even when he shocked her in Arkham, he did that out of anger. He told her, look, you left me with a black hole of memories that I used to have. I might be butchering this a little bit. He basically told her, look, you gave me, like, you messed up my head more so than it already is. And so I'm just returning the favor. I don't know. I like that relationship a little bit more with this fleshed out portion, because that's what it really did. Now, so the extended cut has been on digital release for quite some time. November, I want to say. I read a couple of reviews about it, and you know, people said it doesn't change the movie, it adds this and that. I mean, I didn't really notice too much of a difference beyond the interactions amongst the group and Joker and Harley. It inserted that shot of Deadshot in the trailer of him just looking out the window. It inserted that, and it gave a little bit more of a background with him and his daughter, because that's really what he wants to get to. But the main stuff that it did was for Joker and Harley, and, you know, just general things amongst the group. And we did get to see a little bit more Boomerang and, you know, his interactions with the group as well. It still doesn't explain, like, him leaving when Flag, like, destroys the thing that destroys the bomb activation phone. He destroys that in the bar, and he's like, you're all free to go, and Boomerang just gets up and leaves. It doesn't have a scene of him, like, he still literally just walks back in the frame with the group when they're going to, like, push through and destroy the little thing that Enchantress is building. He literally still just walks in the frame with no explanation. I would have liked an explanation for why he came back. I read somewhere that it gave Killer Croc a little bit more to do, and yeah, I guess it did. But it wasn't anything really, really major. But I think El Diablo is another person that it kind of helped out too, because again, that scene I just talked about with him saying, like, hey, look, you played yourself. We're all, they're using us, this and that. Because that blow up was big, because, you know, when Deadshot was speaking, he literally, like, slammed the counter of the bar and, you know, went into, like, that little monologue, and then the transition into telling the group, like, hey, you know, I killed my family. But overall, I mean, the movie's still enjoyable. They had some real potential with this movie. I really enjoyed the movie, but there's a lot wrong with the movie, and it still just starts in the story. So, I mean, that's my review. I still say, hey, go see it for yourself. You know, if you have a friend that bought it, or, you know, if you don't want to pay money for it, I completely understand because of the things that you heard about it. I still say you got to see it just to get your own opinion, but you'll probably find something out of the movie that you enjoyed. Now, with that being said, let's go on to my rant about the extended cut. What are you guys doing? Why is it that extended cuts are happening? Like, it happened with Batman v Superman, because, you know, Zack Snyder decided he wanted to shoot a 3-hour movie, because when they have to cut 30 minutes out of the movie, it's gonna be a mess. That's another video in and of itself. But you announced the extended cut for Batman v Superman, which seemed very reactionary to the mixed reviews for the movie. Both Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad made money at the theater, but it was amongst mixed reviews, both of them. But even with Suicide Squad, like, the trouble behind the production, if any of this stuff is true, is a little troubling to say the least. No pun intended. There was a story that came out not too long after the movie released in theaters that there was like 7 different cuts of the movie. And if it wasn't 7, it was multiple cuts of the movie. The trailer company that did the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer was one of the people that they had cut the movie, which is why the movie seems like one giant music video the first 5 to 10 minutes of it, because it just goes from sequence to sequence with music behind it. So that was one cut that they did, and apparently David Ayer had a cut, and they screened both of the cuts, and they took notes of what people liked and everything like that, and then it was like, okay, let's take what we like from both of them and put it together. I'm sure David Ayer had a very particular vision for this movie. You should have let him do it. Now, news has since come out about them, they were thinking about doing what people who weren't actually reading the article, they were just reading headlines. It was a Harley Quinn movie. Really, if you had read the article or the actual news report on it, it was a movie that was basically like Birds of Prey with Harley Quinn in the movie. It wasn't a Harley Quinn vehicle, like a Harley Quinn starring movie, like a movie literally based around Harley Quinn. No, it's a Birds of Prey type of thing. Well, news has since come out that they're going to make what's now called Gotham Sirens. It's going to be Harley Quinn, and there are rumors that it's supposed to be Catwoman and Poison Ivy in the movie as well. David Ayer is apparently going to direct that movie. Another thing with Suicide Squad and this extended cut, rumors are that David Ayer only had 6 weeks to write the script. You give anybody 6 weeks to write a script, the movie's not going to be good. This is coming from a person that wants to get into screenwriting. You know, any information that I look up about screenwriting, one of the main things that I see is that it'll say writing is rewrites. That's where you're going to make your story. It's just going to be a bunch of rewrites. I don't think 6 weeks is enough to, hammer out a final draft of a script to move forward with and start shooting. But, 6 weeks to knock this script out isn't enough. And it shows. I think if he would have had more than 6 weeks to actually hammer out details about the movie, we probably would have gotten better motivation with Enchantress. I think we definitely would have gotten a much more coherent movie, because the movie is really disjointed in places. And I think that's because it reflects a script that was written in 6 weeks. And my thing about this is that, one, it seems like a lot of this news that they're coming out with now out of WB for their DC movies is reactionary to what people think about BVS and Suicide Squad. It's like, look, follow your plan. If you have this cinematic universe that you want to build, and you're starting out with, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, then you're doing Flash, Aquaman, things like that. And then down the line, we're supposed to be getting Cyborg, which don't even start me on Cyborg, and the Green Lantern Corps movie. Stick to the plan. Who knows what movie, with Gotham City Sirens, a possible Deadshot movie, and whatever the third movie is going to be. Who knows if those are actually being developed, but there's no telling what movies these are knocking off the slate of their DC films. But don't do, don't be reactionary, because I think that's why, we keep getting extended cuts. And again, this is only the second movie that's happened but with what's going on, you hired these people for a reason. I don't want to hear about Patty Jenkins having trouble with Wonder Woman behind the scenes and having different cuts, being done, and the theatrical cut isn't the one that, she had in mind or whatever like that. Now, when that news first came out, David Ayer was like, look, the cut that's in theaters is the cut that I wanted. I don't really believe that. Obviously, his working relationship is still good, because he's now going on to direct this Gotham City Sirens movie. It's whatever, but don't keep doing extended cuts. Make sure you give the person enough time to develop this film, and you let them execute their vision. You obviously hired them for a reason. Now, clearly I'm not in the business, but I can only assume that a director, they pitch them an idea. Like, hey, this is my vision. James Gunn has even said when he went in, he even put one of the storyboards that he drew up for the first Guardians movie on Instagram. And he was like, this was a part of my pitch to Marvel for the first Guardians movie. Like, he had like a 90-page treatment or something like that. He had storyboards and things like that. I only guess that when the studio goes to a director, or a director comes in and talks about a movie, possibly directing a movie, they have an idea for the movie, and the studio hires them whether or not they like that vision. Like, look, we like your pitch. We want you to make that? Why not let them make that movie then? Again, I don't want to hear about Wonder Woman having an extended cut. You know, I don't want to hear about Justice League having an extended cut. Make sure all of these details are hammered down first and then shoot the movie. Don't hijack the editing room and throw the movie to, 4 or 5 different editors and make, 4 or 5 different cuts of the movie. Don't keep doing extended cuts, because then people who are already, on Twitter, Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad got hammered on Twitter. There was a lot of people that did not like either of these movies and found a lot of problems with these movies. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, but it had a shit ton of problems. Noticeable ones too, for a person who's a fan of film and a fan, of these big ensemble movies, superhero movies, supervillain movies, whatever. It got hammered, and when the extended cut was released, people were like, oh, fuck that. I don't want to see more of this piece of shit. That's how some people felt on Twitter. And again, I was just like, look, just don't do an extended cut. Just let that person execute their vision and don't meddle in it. Anyway, my rant was just, I don't want to keep seeing, extended cuts. Let them execute their vision. Now we just have to wait and see, obviously. Hopefully it doesn't happen, because this is going to be a really long ride for WB if they keep doing this. Yeah, I've gone on long enough. This video is probably 30 minutes long, and I'm going to have to cut it down to like 20, talking about editing again. So the extended cut does help out a bit with fleshing out some of the characters, and that's really it. It doesn't do anything to the story, because the story is inherently flawed because it was written in 6 weeks. Yeah, this is my review and rant of the extended cut of Suicide Squad. The rant wasn't as crazy. That's probably because I did it, well after it was actually announced, because when it was first announced, I felt really strongly about the extended cut. I'm not gonna grade Suicide Squad. I'm just gonna say I enjoyed it. You might as well. It really depends on, how you view the movie and everything like that. But yeah, so catch up with you guys later.